These are my top 10 upgrades in all of FC24. We got rings, we got the bucket, we got the shades, hashtag organics. It's gonna be a whole vibe. Sit back and relax. We're talking big improvement players, from not usable to premium quality. That is my criteria, my personal choices. But I should mention, you're not seeing Mbappe's and Virgil van Dijk's, Pateas, even the likes of Mendy. Yeah, he has an 83, but the 85, dominant, 87, next level, 89, like 6 million coins. What the hell is going on in the marketplace? Might run up another video talking about the state of FC24. If you want that, drop a like. That will tell me we need to put it together ASAP because there's plenty to discuss. Shall we get into the honorable mentions? Bernardo Silva with the Thunderstruck. That's still the version that put him on the map for yours truly, where he went from a pack that you hated seeing to a player that was starting to do some things in the middies. I know that he's got a Blues Clues version as well, but that was the first step up. Mr. Trezeguet, 87 to an 88. Not a big jump because he changed positions. Stats, very different. Ironically, the dribbling was good to go now on the midfield item. A pleasant surprise, and he was a cheap-ass BC. Xavi, sort of a similar story. That 90 and that 91, they're different. They don't feel similar. They don't act similar. The facilitation, the movement is just such an extra premium. If you've used that team of the year rendition, iteration, you will not argue with me. They're not even close. Valverde, the 88 to the 90. Again, a big movement. I wasn't using the 88, but that 90 is still relevant to this day. Can command a presence in the midfield, box to box, back and forth, never tired, relentless. Musiala, the R1 mastermind, from an 86 to a 91. You're still getting good value. The way that he can play a multitude of positions and give you input and output, direction, meta material that you might not like to see, but he's been a constant and a regular consumer in my lineups. As always, comment below your opinions. I love some back and forth. At number 10, I have Lionel Messi. That 90, that rotational or lack thereof, Inter Miami, no chance. He was in none of your teams. But this guy right here, still with the low work rates, 5'7", 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, but we got a little bit of a jump. His movement and the chemistry all improved dramatically. If there's one thing that was good about Radioactive, is it did give you some free chemistry points to go with some statistical flaws, mostly around the physical. This gave you another notch, and this is when I started seeing Messi back in free flow, making a difference, as he should. And perhaps as an early spoiler, don't expect this top 10 to include a bunch of team of the years. Truthfully speaking, most of you, myself included, were not able to access them, so I didn't want to overly focus on some of those upgrades, which I think is fair. Number 9, I can't believe it. We have Laudrup, his 88. If you used him, I would question your FIFA knowledge or your FC fortitude. I would think that you're stubborn and you're looking for pain. But this 90 overall with the position swap, different story. It was a rebrand I never saw coming. Good size, not super physical for the position, but still would come in average to above average in terms of being able to have that pusher. And with 94 stamina, you had that back and forth action. It's actually sort of unbelievable when you think about it. From one of the least used, least appreciated, maybe even least liked. If anything, I would say Laudrup was a real neutral. I don't think anyone disliked him as an individual, but his virtual pitch application, it was dire. He was on his way out until this 90 came to play. EA also threw on a few key playstyles, including a whipped pass, intercept, block, and jockey. Good to go. Number 8, maybe some recency bias. We have Pena. What an SBC. What a difference maker. She's remarkable. The way she'll turn you in the midfield and give you a finesse that you're going to remember for months to come. Part of that Barcelona package. 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot. Quality numbers across the board. I think what stands out for a lot of us, it's the quick turning, 4-wheel drive on point to go with a finesse shot playstyle plus incisive pass. And the passing now is more important than ever. You had ping pass and you had the tiki-taka. She is moving and grooving. Shout out to Claudia. Number 7, we have Bruno Fernandez and his 88. Unusable, not highly appreciated, not highly liked, no rotations, no minutes, no PT, but for team of the year, we had a flashback. 5'10", high work rates, 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, greens across the board. His movement, his agility, the side to side, the dribbling, the passing, the facilitation, the goal scoring capability, and the man is never tired with 99 stamina. When he was released initially, I wasn't sure if it was a good value, but over time, he definitely worked his way into many squads with 9 play styles and plenty of influence. Number 6, and our only team of the year, back to Barcelona. Own. Come on. From an 85 to a 95. High work rates. What a difference maker. Part of that Barcelona-esque greatness, the individualism, pace authentic, dribbling spectacular, passing dialed. Even if you need to get yourself into a position of a 1v1, got to finish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, she'll surprise you. Play styles, you get two of them, as we love to see, incisive and jockey. I personally love jockey as a play style plus, and I will keep singing the praises of the jockiness in terms of some of the side-to-side movement. So darn responsive. Number 5, we have Emery. We're looking at future stars. I also did not want to overdo the future stars because technically the gap of improvement is dramatic. From a 74 to an elite level midfielder with lovely link-ups. French PSG 5-star skills. I would even argue an upgraded version of the likes of a Musiala. 4-star weak foot, medium high work rates. We could read through the newspaper numbers, but it feels authentic for yours truly. I've gone up against him plenty. He is making a difference. He's impacting matchups. Some of his price might be a little bit due to scarcity, but that has just been the theme. You got passing, you got defending, you have a technical play style plus to go with press proven 2 in the ball control. 74 to 90 overall. At number 4, and I believe the sleeper of any of my choices, Pedro. If you know, then you know. Let me reintroduce myself. The 73 to an 89. He had that overpowered nature early. And for that reason alone, the amount of game time, the amount of minutes, the amount of repetition, games played, impact that he has likely given to your club if you've had him early is remarkable. Again, maybe a little confusing. The stats look good. If you're a through ball player, he's going to surprise you, or you've been authentically singing his praises, collaborating, phoning home and telling your friends what kind of danger he is. And maybe the underrated part comes down to some of the physicality. He wins a lot of those lob through balls, the knockdowns, the 50-50s. And that's right, one play style. It does not matter for Pedro. Number 3, and she has to be on the list somewhere. I've got Botcha, and I'm focusing on the 90 overall because that was her most attainable item. She went from an 86, not being used at all, to a 90. That was a requirement, was a mandatory choice. If you didn't complete the SBC, we had questions for you. On record, I have called Botcha a little overrated. I just feel as if people were worshiping this item. I don't want to take away from her, the impact, none of the above, and we've all used her for many matches and matchups. She could play out wide. She could be a winger for you. I even tried her as a center mid or a holding mid in some instances. I wish the sprint speed was a little bit higher, but offensively in particular, movement, dribbling, turning, agility, wow. And even more so important with this game in particular is the amount of wing play that's required to find space. Botcha's been that person, that individual. And if you have the extra coins, some heavier pocketbooks, not just window shopping, you can go after the 91. At number 2, and this could be a surprise for you, but it's not for me. I've got Modric, legend of the game, soon to be an icon. What a brilliant, talented, classy individual. Beautiful leadership. The 87, not so much. But now up to a 93 and a difference maker. It's crossed over. Typically a player that doesn't get a lot of love on the virtual pitch. This item, different. 5'8", medium work rates, the skills, the weak foot, you know the ordeal. There is a significant improvement with his pace, but what will surprise you, and to this day, I would still happily go on record and confirm or make a statement that Modric and his dribbling package is some of the best that we have. The way that Modric can turn a defense, can find space, and then the facilitation, the Travellas, even after the patch, and I know they've been downplayed now, kind of underrated on the defensive end. I'm just so happy that EA, with at least a few players that are typically known for not being that good, their skill set's not translating to the virtual pitch. There's a few this year that have my respect, have your respect, and are out here making a spectacle of defenses in the middies. 3 play styles in the passing category to go with a Travella playstyle plus, which we're never mad about. At number 1, I've gone with a massive spread. That might be a weird opener, but we have Cole Palmer from a 66 to a 91. A lot of hype around this individual. One of the biggest upgrades we've seen, which seems fitting for top in the charts. 6'2", 4-star skills, 5-star weak foot, and that size gives you versatility, provides choice, because his defending numbers really aren't bad. Not at all. You add in some decent physicality, the body type that you're working with. You can play him up front as a center forward, a cam, out wide, center mid, even a holding mid, depending how you line up your team, it's possible. And we can't ignore there's just a 97 sprint speed sit in the pace category. Just sprinkle it in there. Playstyle plus and finesse shot. Whether you love or hate the playstyle features, that's a big upgrade. I look at ball control with the dribbling, technical, flair, first touch, and trickster. Again, I'm not upset. And quick step, giving that little jolt, that Henry-esque takeoff, if you will, this year in particular. A nice little step over, and you're out there, or you're in there, and with the swimwear. Highly recommended, not cheap, going to be a hefty price tag. This list in particular around upgrades, he seems to be perfectly suited. Those are my choices. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. There's a lot of room for subjectivity in particular, depending how you value improvements and upgrades and who's really shown up and shown out for your club, which is what it's all about. If you want the gameplay, second channel, we got tips, we got tutorials, FC playbook, and as always, I have a lot more content coming out ASAP.